we'll be going through some fight rumors going on in today's fight world, but fights that are potentially being scheduled moving forward. The very first one is over the past 48 hours or so, David Benavidez, who obviously is well known as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He was supposed to be rumored or was rumored to fight David Morrell. They were going back and forth on Instagram stories, and it appears that that's almost something that's going to be something that we need to look forward to in the future. Although we all got very extremely excited for that, that's not the case that we're going to have. But what we do find out now is that he's going to be facing Jesse Hart, who hasn't fought in 3 years, in December. But then we also find out that Jesse has no idea about this possibly even going down anyway. So in that whole regard, that's what I got for you guys. Nobody knows exactly what's happening. The fight that we all wanted to see have happen between the two Davids doesn't seem like it's going to be happening soon. And then we see the fight that we don't really want to see in Jesse Hart might not even be happening either, which I guess is good. So that's where we stand with David Benavidez as of this point in time. But the expectation seems to be that we will see him fight at least one more time in 2024. So that's a good thing, I guess. The next thing is that big fight news, and this one I do like a lot. Junto Nakatani, he has welcomed the challenge of Naoya Inoue. Obviously, the pound for pound, in my opinion, number one fighter in the world. He has challenged him to fight his brother Takuma Inoue for the WBA and WBC bantamweight world title unification fight, which will then allow him to, if he wins that fight, to move up and fight him for undisputed WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO super bantamweight world titles. That's going to be the mega fight we all want to see. When we talk about Junto, he's now officially emerged and solidified himself as a top 10 pound for pound fighter in the world. And we all know that the big fight that we want to see is Naoya Inoue versus Junto. That fight would do huge numbers no matter where you fight in the world. But if they obviously were to keep it home in Japan, you could easily sell the Tokyo Dome, have a massive fight in one of the most legendary stadiums in the world there, which is where Inoue has fought many times before anyway. So that's the massive fight we could see. Obviously, at that point in time, it could be 2 top 5 fighters in the world. That could be the biggest fight to make if that were to occur summertime or whatever it is of next year. So that would be huge. But obviously, as Inoue said, he has to go fight his brother Takuma first if he wants to get to Naoya. So that's going to be a huge thing to see and would be both massive fights for Junto, regardless of what order they happen in. Then we got news from Eddie Hearn in regards to a possible Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua rematch. Here's the exact quote details here. Eddie Hearn revealed that His Excellency has told them that he wants to make Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua rematch. Hearn added that both AJ and Dubois also want the rematch to take place. Eddie Hearn has also named 3 potential options. These seem to be the only people on the table if the rematch occurs or not. The 3 options for AJ's next fight include Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois rematch, or the Deontay Wilder fight. Now, I've addressed a few of these in recent episodes. The rematch with Daniel Dubois, I'm all for it. It makes sense. Ultimately, we saw AJ hurt him. We saw him hurt him in the 5th round there right before he got KO'd. AJ was hurt already, and he found the power to be able to go and still hurt Dubois. Is it a fight that I'm going to favor AJ in now? Absolutely not. Is it a fight that we possibly could see him have success in and maybe even upset again now, Daniel Dubois? Sure. But not a fight I'm against at all, especially if Daniel Dubois' unifying undisputed fight isn't until later on and he wants to fight soon. Then the Tyson Fury fight, we all know what that one looks like, and the only way that's going to occur is if Fury loses on December 21st. That's fine. The Deontay Wilder one is another one, like I said, that's the last hurrah fight. If that occurs, great for both guys. The loser that's going to have to retire right after. The winner, I don't know what advantage it really gives them. But that's what we have in store for AJ and Daniel Dubois potentially happening in a rematch there. Then the other news that came out just a few days ago, Jaron Boots Ennis, he will defend his IBF welterweight world title in the rematch that all of us do not want to see. Karen is the fighter. He's going to be fighting again. We already saw it happen one time. Not a good fight at all. He's defending his championship there. We all know the whole dilemma that occurred when it was supposed to be Brian Norman to begin with. Then he sort of moved to 154. He's not doing that. So he's going to be fighting a pointless fight on November 9th in Philadelphia. That's that. Nobody really wants to see it overall. He's going to win that fight. He should win that fight. Otherwise, it would be a massive upset. But that's what we have going on there. Here's the biggest problem I have with that, though, is I'm a little bit skeptical as to why Jesse Bam Rodriguez is going to be co-main event of this fight. And he'll be defending his WBC super flyweight world title against Pedro Guevara in Philadelphia that same night. Now, I understand because of the fact that it's in Philadelphia, Boots is home, that he would be the main event there. But why is Bam fighting on the undercard for Boots? Bam is regarded as a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter. He just sold out the Phoenix Sun Stadium just a few months ago. He has already grown massively. He can sell out most basketball stadiums in the world. He is going to be a guy that's already one of the box office fighters out there, the top 5 pound-for-pound guy, in my opinion. And to see him being the co-main makes no sense at all. So I'm not for that at all. Completely not for that at all. It's ridiculous to have him not being the main event. But that's what we now have in store for us on November 9th in Philadelphia. Then we have Gervonta Davis. Tank versus Lamont Roach is reportedly now the front runner for Tank's next fight in November or December. Rayo is also a possibility, but seems to have now been officially ruled out. Now, here's the details about the Gervonta Davis fight, which makes this even weirder of a situation when this already is a fight, once again, we also do not want to see. That seems to be the theme of this right now. A lot of the news that's been coming out is fights that we just don't really want to see right now, which is unfortunate. That being said, though, Tank versus Lamont Roach is reportedly could take place on December 21st, the same exact date as the rematch of the heavyweight undisputed fight between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. This one would be in Washington, D.C., while obviously Usyk and Fury would be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So the time zones would work out fine, but still, that just doesn't make sense. And I get it. I know I'm not going to be hypocritical. I said at that point in time that when we looked at the Tank Davis and he was trying to go fight Lomachenko, I was giving him props. He actually was trying to go fight a big fight. But this time around, Lamont Roach still is not a fight we want to see. Now, is this on Tank Davis's fault? I don't know. But this still is not the fight we really want to see. We have options. We're awaiting Devin Haney. We're awaiting Shakur Stevenson. Lomachenko, not occurring as of now. So that's what we got for the week fight recaps that's been coming out of news in the past 7 days. Obviously, a lot of stuff that's up in the air. Not a lot of optimistic, big name fights here that's going to go down, but they're fights nonetheless. So that's what I've got for you guys in terms of fight recaps from the past week.